Hello everyone, welcome to Drishti IAS in this new series where we are talking about the 100 most important topics for your prelims 2026. So in this video we are going to talk about some important topics which is related to your prelims. So in this video we are going to talk about robotics and UAV, and we have a discussion of principle for the flight system. Then the most important part that can be asked in your examination, that is your regulatory categories that we need to know, and also what are your industrial automations, because in India industries are become the primary sector where robotics can be used. And we also talk about some hydrogen economy, because when we talk about the green energy, this is the most important prominent topic, that is your hydrogen economy. So we have a discussion of green and blue hydrogen, and we also have a discussion of grey hydrogen with this green and blue one, and we have to talk about the production method for it, and also we have a discussion for fuel cell technology. So this is something that can be included in this topic. So let's start. So if I am talking about first your robotics session, and you know that robotics or maybe UAV means your unmanned aerial vehicle. That is the newest technology that can be added with our defense system, or maybe we can say your defense of India that can have this drone system right now. And when we talk about the robotics and your UAV, so commonly known as drones, both are commonly known as drones, and they are transforming the different sectors. Like the prime sector is your defense, agriculture, we also have a use, logistics in the manufacturing, understanding their working principle, and also we have to talk about the regulatory frameworks, and the industrial application is the crucial one. As I tell you, the industries are the primary beneficiary area with the use of your drone system. So let's talk about it. So in the first part, if I am talking about the principle behind it, so you know that there is a three things are major one, like drones operated based on the aerodynamics principle. Aerodynamics principle. You know that when we talk about aerodynamics, this can be related with air, friction, pressure, flow with your technological system. Because with the drone, there is a one thing that can be help in the flying, that can be pressure of air. So according to air presence, you have to use the different technology with it. So air pressure technology with flying system, that is known as your aerodynamics. Like dynamics means motion in air. So this is the system. So it is similar to aircraft but with the unique mechanism, because you can control it by remote, and your aeroplane cannot be controlled by the remote. That is the major difference between it, and this can be achieved due to the different designing. And when we talk about the flight control system, so your flight control system can be have gyroscope for orientation, you know it, the same gyroscope that we used in our space technology also for satellite motion, orientation, accelerometer is there for acceleration, and GPS, one of the most important thing for your connectivity and navigation. So gyroscope for orientation, you know it, acceleration for the motion and movement, GPS for the navigation, and also it can use the algorithms that can be recorded in your PID. So algorithm based work can be also there, which can help in the better mechanism and better control over it. So if we talk about the regulatory category, that how we can regulate the drone system in India, because this cannot be like that you can just purchase a drone and just fly it in all over the areas. No, that is restricted, because only some limitation can be there. So regulatory framework is also there. So first we talk about the regulatory category of the drone in India. So first of all, you can see India regulate the drone under the Drone Rule 2021 by the Directorate General of the Civil Aviation. So Directorate General of Civil Aviation 2021 make a drone rule, and according to this drone rule, when we talk about the key regulatory features, what are the key implementation So first, digital sky platform which can provide you the online permission for the system. Digital sky platform which provide you the online permission for this system. Also, no permission, no takeoff. That is the most important rule, NPNT policy. Like if permission is denied, then no takeoff. Simple as that. So mandatory unique identification number, like every drone have a unique identification number for it, which can define the use of drone also. So for most of the drone, and geofencing is very important one, like restrict entry, sorry, restrict entry into the sensitive zone. Like so you can simply say with some zones that we divide as a sensitive zone, and no any drone can be entered into that area without the permission. Like if we talk about what are your sensitive zones where the drones cannot be flied. So these are classified into three part: the green zone, yellow zone, red zone. Like green zone, normal, there we can not need any kind of the permission for flying the drone. Like our domestic area, our home area, our ground area, our agriculture land, these are the common, no permission is needed. When we talk about the yellow zone, this can be controlled airspace, permission is needed. So when the word airspace can be come out, this can be legal. So like any mall side, any office that can be regulated by the government, sensitive zone, or maybe we can say higher number of people can work in a same building, that category of space you cannot use the drone, because that can create some new type of risk can be there in places. When we talk about the red zone, so red zone is totally prohibited. This can be your airport. This can be your airport and your military bases. So we cannot go in that area. This can be totally prohibited, called red zone. Clear? Now, application of the UAV or the drones. So the first use is your civilian. First use is your civilian, and we can use it in our agriculture system, because crop can be monitored by using them with your camera. So we are placing a camera with it, and we can crop monitor, and the best use for it is your pesticide spraying. UPSC already asked the question, which one of them is the work of drone can be done. So you can do one thing, and in that question there is a option of pesticide spraying. So this can be already asked. The most important use right now for the drone is your disaster management, because search and rescue. Because if any place is affected by any disaster, the people cannot be go easily, but drone can be. So they can surveillance it, or maybe we can say affected people monitoring, and also you can done the rescue operations by the help of data. So that can be the prime use current time by your drone. We also use this one. This can be your delivery system, that in army this can be used, or maybe we can say in big type of surveillance, and when we provide some amount of substances in rare places, this can be done by your delivery system. Like for your e-commerce, medical supplies, but this cannot be yet done in India right now, and this can be only in testing basis, or maybe we can say very limited. Last one, surveilling and the mapping for the land record. This is the use that we currently done now. When we talk about the defense use, this is the major one. The reason for development of drone is first of all defense. So you can have a surveillance and recognition of anything. The most important one is your combat drone. So combat drone is a thing that can have armed UAV, or maybe we can say that have weapons. So unmanned air vehicle, remote control drone that have the weapon. This can be known as your combat drone. And now last one is your border monitoring. You can do it by your surveillance team. When we talk about emerging uses, this can be always very interesting for the UPSC examination. So emerging use, The first of all, urban air mobility. This can be a task which is in future, which is called as air taxis. Like a small drone can be used for taxi purpose, 2 and 3 member can be flying with it, and this can be used in city purpose. So basically urban air mobility. And drone swarms, this is AI coordinated operations. Swarm basic word can be used for very small drones. This can be also emerging use. And this one, urban air mobility or maybe air taxi, is one of the interesting concept that you have to know. Next one, when we talk about the robotics in industrial automation, because this is the primary beneficiary area. So when we talk about industrial level, so you know that key in industries when human can work, so human can have a very limited task for the work, because the body efficiency, working capability and fatigueness of the muscle, that can always harm the work efficiency. So the human have a very limited work time period, but machine can do for 24/7. So this is the automation. And if I am talking about the industrial robot, we are using it very high in manner, because in industries robot can provide you the better efficiency. So the first thing that is called as your articulate robot. This is a very interesting thing. Articulate robot. There is a robotic arms used in automobile assembly. Like there is a conveyor belt is present, robot is behind of that, and substance can be come out in front of that part, and they are used in your assembly purpose. That is the one of the best use in industries. As I tell you about the SCARA robot, this is one of the most famous example. This is your SCARA robot. It is your high speed assembly, because this is very famous one. We talk about it detail in this video also. Next one is your linear movement system is there. Like I tell you about the conveyor belt and concept. So Cartesian robot can be there. And last one is your collaborative robot like cobots. This word is very famous right now. Like these kind of the robot can be have a efficiency to talk with human, not directly talk. We can say some informative conversation can be there. Like in bank, there is a robot which can provide you the account detail, or maybe give you some answers about your query and questions. So this kind of the robot can be developed. We called it cobots. So they work alongside with the human safety. When we talk about the key technology, what we used, so artificial intelligence, because without this machine cannot get the capability to give you responses. Next one is your machine vision, because you have to do camera, or maybe we can say any kind of the sensor. So basically this is related to your sensors. Next is your sensor and IoT. The same thing can be there for real time monitoring. Means real time monitoring means instant time reply that is given by the machine. Also the machines can be programmed for work. So we called it programmable logic controller for automation control. So this can be create a work for robot. So you have to give a program for sufficient work. This is the main thing. But there is some challenges also there, concerns also there, and with some benefit also there. If we talk about only the benefit, so increased productivity and efficiency. As I tell you, the human can need a rest, 8 to 10 hour maximum working period, and there is a efficiency problem can be also there. Age is the problem with the human body, but machines can do very high efficient work. So this can provide you the increased productivity and efficiency, improved precision and quality. Yes, this is again very benefited area, because human have the error. Also reduce the human error, because where the human error must be there. Enhance the safety in hazardous environment. Like some environment are very hazardous for the human. Like we can see some atmosphere can harm the disease of skin, eyes, lungs. So that category of automation we can use the robot. Like some industries that can very harmful for the human body, betterly you can save the human and use the robot. So these are the benefit that is with us. But there is a problem with challenges, like what is the result in your low skilled labor, because low skilled labor are mostly work in industries as a form of basic worker, and if you can remove the work by your robot, they can be jobless. So this can be very creating a big problem. So this is your job creation. Next one is your high initial investment, like you know that the people you hired can get a salary every month, but your machine can need a very high investment in initial phase. This is the big problem with it. There is also a problem with cyber security risk in connected systems, because your robots can be done with AI system, they always connected with internet. So that can create a path for any kind of the cyber threat. So this is again a big problem, because someone hacked the machine and the whole production can be stopped by a company. Then we have a regulatory and ethical concerns are there, because drone can be purchased by any person, they are easily available in the market, so they can use it in the bad purpose also. So especially for the drones, because drones are very easily available, like you might be see currently in time most of the marriage parties have this kind of the drone, but the people maybe have different kind of the bad impact with it. So this is again a regulatory and ethical concerns with it. So these are the problems. Now this is the most important part, as I tell you, defense is the primary sector. So when we talk about the defense drone in India, what are the categories? So basically you have to go for these things, that UAV can be used for two purpose mainly. The first one is your deploy the weapon system, and always the second thing is your surveillance. Like most of the area can be very risky for the human life, betterly we can use a drone for surveillance. Why we can send a human to that area? And also sometime deployment of any weapon can be very easy by UAV, so you can protect the important and precious life of the soldiers. So when we talk about the use, the first one is your surveillance, second one is your combat, and third one is your logistics. Always focus on these three things. Now we talk about the major defense drone in India. So some name you have to know about it. The first one is Heron. You have to go with the name. The first word, that is male, you have to go with the full form of it. This is your medium altitude long endurance. Medium altitude means they can fly in the medium height. Long endurance means they have the high capability to stay in air for long duration. What is the role? Long range surveillance, because this can fly for many hours in air. This can be used for long range surveillance, and it is operated by Indian Air Force and Navy. Second one, this is again very important example. There is searcher, and the name can say help in searching and surveillance. So this is your tactile UAV. Tactile word means that can fly in air and also have a movement. This can be landed again. Battlefield surveillance, this can be used for battlefield surveillance. Rustam 2, it is one of the most famous example, most famous one. So this is your Rustam 2, and olderly we can say Tapas. Tapas is the very famous name for it, Tapas or Rustam 2. It is also the male UAV, male means you know it, that is the medium altitude long endurance, developed by DRDO, that's why it is very famous one, and the role is ISR missions. So this is developed by our DRDO. Next one, the combat and armed drone, that can be very useful, because combat word is very important role for your drone system. So they are capable of carrying the weapon and conducting the strike. This is the very important thing, because by utilization of this we have developed a capability to save the important lives of the soldiers. So this is your MQ9 Rapper, we called it Rapper, or maybe we can say Predator B. You have to go with the name Rapper or Predator B. It is HALE, Hail. Now hail and male, both concept is there. Male for the medium altitude and HA for high altitude. So this can go for the medium range and high altitude both. Clear? But that have the combat SUV, means they have the weapon. So role क्या है? Precision, strikes, surveillance. India is producing these things. So already we are producing these kind of the predators. And this is one of the most important example. Already UPSC asked the question related to it, not from direct Ghatak word, but that is very important one. And recently this can be in news also. This is your Ghatak. This is your UCAV. What is the word? UCAV. Again, you know the UAV word, and C word is for combat, means having weapon. But why I say that this is the most important one? Recently it is in news. Because of that, they have unmanned combat aerial vehicle. That is the concept is there. But the most important word, having the stealth technology. And you know that what is the stealth technology? They cannot be catched by radar. This kind of the system can be there, and this one developed by our indigenous technology, that is our DRDO. So stealth technology can be there. This is very important, and have autonomous strike capability. Autonomous strike capability means it can select the area where the weapon can be deployed or not. So they can have its automation system. So stealth technology make it better. That is your Ghatak. Now we talk about the loitering monitoring. This one is your hover over. The word is more important, that is called hover. Hover means this can be present in air in one point for very long duration. This can be hold in air, or maybe we can say this can be fly regularly in a limited space area. This is called as hovering. So hovering and target area, hovering over the target area, and then strike when the target is identified. So this can be placed in some area, this can be present in limited area, this can be fly in one part and always focus on the target, and when the right time is come, they have make a target itself. They can kill directly by deploying the weapon. So we have a two kind of the thing. The first one, Harop is the first one, Harop, and second one is your ALFAS, Alpha S. They are very small drones, but your Harop one is the big one. It is the type of loitering drone and destroy the radar system. This one is specially for radar system. So this one make radar system as a target. You can destroy the radar of enemies. When the swarm word is there, I already tell you, swarm word means they are small drones. So they are basically your small drones, small in size and used for the coordinate attack. Means they are present in high number. So multiple drone can be present in same place. They are coordinate to each other and then they can target. Means they can hit somewhere. So this is your Alpha S and this is your Harop. Clear? Now I am talking about the mini, tactile and logistics drone. Very short range drones. So they are your short range drones used for the battlefield. Due to its small size, they can be used easily and get very high benefit. The first one is your micro UAV. Size is very small, but it is one of the most famous example. Most famous example. This is your Netra. One of the most important example. What is the role? Urban surveillance. So city area surveillance can be done by your Netra. Second one is your Switch UAV. It is developed by Idea Forge. Role, high altitude surveillance. This can be used for the mountainian region mostly because that can fly to high range. When we talk about the Skylark, this is again a very famous one. It is the closed range recognitions. Closed range means it can be fly very near to the surface. Not having high altitude, this can be fly near to the surface. This can be very critical flying stage that can be present with your Skylark. So this is again a small battlefield support short range drones, Netra, Switch UAV and Skylark. Now we have to go with the discussion of key features and future development. This one is again a very prime area for questioning in your UPSC. We talk about the key features. So they are increasing the indigenization under your Atmanirbhar Bharat, because DRDO developed the capability to produce all the type of drones. Integration of AI and autonomous system. Autonomous system means they are select the target by its own software system. So use in network centric warfare means they can be centralized for any area, and multiple drone can be connected with each other, and they can be communicate and then they can target. Also they can be focus on entry drone system as well, as means drone can also destroy the enemy drone. What is the future development? So first, indigenous stealth UCAV like Ghatak, like we want to develop more technology like stealth. So only Ghatak can be there right now, but we want to develop some more with this technology. Drone swarms for modern warfare, because if you can use a very small drone that cannot be easily identified by any radar, so that is a very good use. High altitude drone of China border, because we have to use the high altitude drone, so better battery capacity and long flight duration can be there. Last one, naval drone for the marine surveillance. So maritime surveillance means above the water that can be fly. So this kind of the drone development can be there. So futuristic approach for development of your naval drone. So you know about it, and the most important again I tell you, Ghatak. Next one, industrial robot. This is the main use. As I tell you, the first is your robotic arm. So robotic arm that have multiple joint like the human arm have, and one of the most important example is your KUKA KR6. So KUKA, this can be done welding process, painting and coating process, and also assembly operation. As I tell you what is assembly operation, so robot can be present, conveyor belt can cross the substances, and every robot can do different kind of the function. So welding, painting, coating, assembly, these all the type of function can be done by your KUKA, one of the most famous example for your multiple joint articulated robotic arm. So it is most widely used in car manufacturing plant, because you can see in this image, because car manufacturing need different type of equipments, this can be used. And this is a automatic machine known for efficiency, precision and safety. These are the three important words. Now as I tell you, the Skara made by Yamaha, this is the most important example made by Yamaha, that is your Skara. So Skara is actually your selective compliance assembly robotic arm. This is your Skara. What are the structure? So there is a two parallel rotatory joint, fast horizontal movement. This can be fast horizontal movement. You can see this is your first joint and this is your second joint. Example is Yamaha YK series Skara, most important example. This can be used in electric component assembly, because this is more precise, like your mobile making. So if we talk about mobile assembling, TV assembling, or maybe electronic device assembling, that can be used, because very precise work, very famous one. So this one is used in pick and place operations are there, packaging are there. So this can be very important, and this is important for knowing It's high speed and for precision because the nozzle is very sharp. So you can use it for small work also. So that is SCARA. Now, if we talk about the collaborative robot, that is called as cobot. Cobot means they can work with human. So they can coordinate with the human. And if you go with the example, the first one, designed to work safely with human. Work with human. Universal robot, like example is your universal robot. You can see the example. This can be used in your quality inspection. Assembly line always the beneficiary area. This can be safe, flexible and easy to program. When we talk about autonomous mobile robot, so autonomous mobile robot, and when we use this word mobile robot, it means you can carry it from anywhere very easily. So this can be your mobile robot. So mobile robot with sensor and AI navigation, MIR 100 is one of the best one. This is used in warehouse, logistic, transporting the goods and for the management, inventory management can be there. So these are your another type of robot. Now we are going towards your hydrogen economy. So second part of this video. So the hydrogen economy refers to a system for hydrogen use. Hydrogen economy means you can go for the use of hydrogen, which is your clean energy, means a zero carbon emission energy can be there. So actually we want to use our hydrogen in our transport system like fuel cell vehicle. We want to use this fuel cell. Also industry like your steel, fertilizer, and they are known as hard to abate industry. They are producing lots of the carbon and we want to replace it. Also for the development of power generation and also for the energy storage. So basically what is the idea behind it? So replace your fossil fuel with your hydrogen to reduce the CO2, because you know that we have a target of net zero by 2070. So India have a target net zero for 270 because we want to develop this kind of the infrastructure where no carbon emission can be there. So if I am talking about the production based hydrogen type, so according to the production we divide it in different color. Don't think about it that hydrogen have a color or not. Hydrogen don't have any color. The color is the reference how they can be produced. So one is your green, one is your blue, one is your gray. Most important one. If I tell you about the green one, so actually green hydrogen is the best hydrogen. This can produce zero carbon can be there. So hydrogen produced using the renewable energy. It means the energy for making hydrogen is also came from renewable resources. So how you can produce it? So that is done by your electrolysis of the water. You can just break your water and this hydrogen is produced. So breaking the water, and for breaking electrolysis the current is also made from renewable energy, and that's why you can say the electricity from solar, wind for splitting the H2 and O2. This can be there. You can produce the hydrogen but from electrolysis of the water, but the electricity is used from also made by solar and wind. It means renewable energy resources. When we talk about the feature, so the most important one, that's why we called it safe energy or green energy, zero carbon emission and sustainable and clean. That is the main thing. But what are the challenges related to it? Because the electricity from your solar and wind is split water into hydrogen and oxygen. So for using this green hydrogen, we have to develop our solar and wind split of water, means formation of electricity. We have to build our capacity. The feature is zero carbon emission and it is most sustainable, but the problem is high cost. This can be 3 times costlier than the normal CNG that we have. So in compared to CNG, this can be 3 times more costlier. It requires the large renewable energy capacity. So we want to develop this kind of the capacity. This is the problem with your green hydrogen. When we talk about the second one, your blue. So this hydrogen is produced from fossil fuel, but with the carbon capture. Carbon capture means with this technology, you also add one thing, कि it produce the carbon, but you can capture it. It means less carbon amount can be emitted in atmosphere. That is the basic reason behind it. It means using fossil fuel, it produce the carbon, but you can capture it for the less impact in environment. This is your blue. What is the method? Natural gas reforming. Clear? Like steam, methane reforming. SMR is the technology. So you can use the methane. So CO2 is captured and stored. This is known as your CCS technology. Always remember, this can be done with blue hydrogen. Clear? So you can see this procedure. So you can pass the gas, hydrogen gas made by your fossil fuel. There is a carbon capturing method is there, and CO2 can be deployed into the soil. This is your carbon capturing. CCS technology is there. This is the most important word with your blue hydrogen. When we talk about the features, so there is a lower emission than grey hydrogen. Grey hydrogen have high carbon emission. So what is the uses? Existing infrastructure. So you can use it in current time. Challenges, not fully carbon free. So basically you cannot fulfill the target of net zero. This is the problem, and it is depend on the CCS efficiency. Like if your CCS process is high, no carbon can be produced, but any lapsing in this process that can produce the carbon in atmosphere. That is the single problem with it. But it is again very good thing. But when we talk about this one, your grey hydrogen, go with your grey hydrogen, this can create a big problem, because you can see the method. It produced from fossil fuel, no issue, but there is no carbon capture. No carbon capture. The CO2 can be directly involved in atmosphere. This is the big problem with your grey. So always remember the difference between grey and blue. Both are made from the fossil fuel, but blue one have a carbon capture CCS technology, but this one can release the CO2 in open atmosphere. This is again a big problem. That's why we called it a climate threat. So high CO2 emission, so it is not good for the climate. When we talk about the production method, there is again SMR, because they are all made from your produced methane, like steam methane reforming is there. Natural gas CH4 is there. You can mix it with your steam, and then hydrogen and carbon dioxide can be separated. If we talk about the characteristics, so it is widely used today. That's why the climate is threatening. Dominant from hydrogen production, and cheapest method is currently. So for maintaining the cost, the lots of industries can be run with your grey one, but this can create a big problem for the atmosphere. Why the grey hydrogen matters? Because industry and climate impact. So climate bad impact, but industry are using this. So supply the crucial hydrogen for industries like fertilizer, chemical, and these are known as your hard to abate. Why we called it hard to abate? Because we cannot easily change the entire grey hydrogen from this sector, but they can contribute in heavily to the climate, and this can be very problematic. So we want to change this early possible. Now if we compare these two, because we are knowing that blue hydrogen is the good thing, but the best one is your green one. Just compare it. So actually the green hydrogen have a source renewable, but the blue hydrogen have a source fossil fuel methane. There is a carbon emission which is zero. In this part that can be low with your CCS, but actually not zero. The cost is very high due to its overall production. The cost is moderate because we are using the fossil fuel. Sustainability very high because long duration. For us, this one have a medium sustainability due to that carbon production. When we talk about technology maturity, it is under developing, means we cannot have enough thing to develop this kind of the electrolysis, because when we want to split the water, we need ultra pure type of water for production of green hydrogen. So we are lacking in that part also. So we are developing in this area, but this can be established. This can be established right now. So this is the difference between your blue hydrogen and green hydrogen. Now, this is again a very important concept related to your fuel cell. Very important one. UPSC already asked the question from your fuel cell 2 and 3 times, means 2 and 3 year the question can be present with your fuel cell. Actually, fuel cell is the technology which is the most safest thing for the environment because it can use your hydrogen. So fuel cell is based on your hydrogen and just water can be come out in the form of vapors. So no atmospheric bad impact can be there. This is the highest efficiency of energy. So basically this one using hydrogen, so we called it hydrogen fuel cell, or maybe we can say proton exchange membrane, PEM, because there is an electron movement. So basically you can use hydrogen as a fuel. This is a cell, cathode and anode is there. So this is your anode, this is your cathode. Basically you can put the hydrogen into anode, and this one responsible for the flow of proton, and proton is already lapsing with electron. So for fulfilling the demand, electron can be moved. So when due to the pass on of the hydrogen, electron can be moved. So we make a circuit between it. So actually electron movement provide you the electricity. Electron movement provide you the electricity, and now the electron can be transferred into this cathode one, and now for capturing this you put the oxygen with it. So you put the oxygen, this is your oxidizer, and by applying your oxygen, hydrogen can be came from this side and both can mix together and produce water. So this is your byproduct. So this is the byproduct. So actually what we done, for by giving the hydrogen we make the flow of electron, and due to the flow of electron there is a productivity of electricity can be there, and this one can fulfill to cathode rays, and this cathode part have capturing of oxygen and produce you the water vapor. Always remember, sometime the byproduct can be written as water and sometime water vapor. So actually both are the same thing. Water can be come out from this part but in the form of vapor. So both are the correct answer. So this is your hydrogen fuel cell. When we talk about advantage, so this is the most clean energy, only water is eliminated, no issue with this. High efficiency, long duration stability can be there, and silent operation, no sound can be there because only electron flow provide you the electricity. But challenges, the most important challenge is cryopreservation. You know that hydrogen storage and transportation, because hydrogen is a very flammable gas, highly flammable, or betterly we can say it is a type of explosive. So we have to make a special type of container and very reduced temperature can be maintained. So this is basically stored in cryopreservation. So this can be a biggest problem with it because this kind of the container is heavily costly, and we also have a transportation problem. Second one, high cost of the catalysis, like in this formation of the fuel cell we use the platinum, and you know that platinum is white gold, so more expensive than gold. That is the biggest problem, and currently India don't have this kind of the infrastructure, maybe with your platinum also and maybe with your storage and transportation. In all sector we are lacking right now. So this is the problem. That's why this is the great technology, but we cannot use it currently, but it is truly futuristic. Clear? So this is something related to your hydrogen. Now if we talk about the India's level, So India and hydrogen economy, we have very fastly growing in this sector because we have a national green hydrogen mission started in 2023. What is the target? So target to become the global hub for green hydrogen production. So we can use it in refineries, in fertilizer, in steel sector and in mobility. So basically they are the prime area which are responsible for producing the maximum carbon amount, and we have to replace it by your green hydrogen. So we are having this targeted mission and we are fastly growing in this area and we are having a with good work. So this is your hydrogen economy. Now this is the question which is related to your this topic, can be asked in pre-2024. Which one of the following is the exhaust pipe emission? Exhaust pipe emission from the fuel cell. Electric vehicle powered by your hydrogen. So if you can go with this hydrogen fuel cell in electric vehicle, what is the byproduct? Hydrogen peroxide? No. Hydronium? No. Oxygen? No. That is your water vapor. As I say, water and water vapor are the same thing. So D is your correct option. Next one. In the context of electric vehicle batteries, consider the following statement. When we talk about the battery, cobalt, graphite, lithium and nickel. Cobalt, graphite, lithium and nickel. How many of them can be, how many of the above usually make the battery of cathode? So actually this question is asked about the cathode. So we have two things, cathode and anode, and cathode is the prime portion. So how you can make it? You know that when we talk about the cathode, so your cathode is made by all of these four, out of these four only by three. So we can simply say cobalt, lithium and nickel. So cobalt, lithium and nickel are used for making cathode, but this graphite is used for making anode. So this one is for making anode. So now you know that what is the difference between that. So actually your anode is made by graphite and cathode is made by your cobalt, lithium and nickel. So how many of the above usually make? Only three. Only three. So these two questions are directly asked from your hydrogen economy and this part, and also I provide you some practice question. So this is the practice question which is related to your green hydrogen, you know it. Then there is a question with your fuel cell, and also this is the last question for your also hydrogen production, because currently national hydrogen mission is there and this is the current and most important topic. So you have to go for this video and read the all content and give the answer of this question after this video in the comment box. So thank you very much.
For more informative content, like, share and subscribe, and do not forget to press the bell icon to get the notifications.